Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. A couple housekeeping things before we get started. One is I am standing on a yoga mat. If you don't have one, all I ask is that you find a place in your house that's carpeted, or maybe there's a sturdy rug, not anything that's going to slip out from underneath you. And I don't want you on a surface that's slippery itself. I've got 2 yoga blocks. A great substitute for those would be 2 thick books. And I encourage you to use what's around you. Steal some cushions from your couch. Use a blanket from your sofa, a throw blanket, or a beach towel so that you can pad your knees or roll something up to make anything more comfortable. And walls and things like using your furniture to assist balance. Great idea, great yoga props. We'll start standing with our feet hip distance and parallel, a little bit of a bend in our knees. And to organize our shoulders, take your arms forward, palms face each other. Make a really giant couple of circles away from each other. Let's do that 2 more times. So just giant arm circles from the shoulder joint. Once more, and then we'll let our arms settle along our sides. Palms face out, thumbs angled behind us, and uplift to our heart. Our chin is parallel to the ground. And there's a steadiness between our 2 feet, if we can find it. Take a moment to witness your inhale and your exhale. Really pay close attention. Let's use that inhale and exhale to inspire movement. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. And then exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands atop your thighs. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen your spine. And when we exhale and fold, we'll keep that length in our spine. Let it be a hip hinge, and then we'll inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, V. And pause with our arms along our sides, palms facing out. Inhale, we have a V. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Hands can go to your thighs. They might slide down towards your shins or your ankles, but if you lose this hinge and start to round, work your way back up to where you can inspire the length. Let's slide our hands back up and inhale. And then when we exhale, bend your knees as deeply as it takes for you to get your hands situated solid on the ground and step back to down dog. I want us to focus on our arms here, and that starts with our hands against the ground. So spread your hands wide like you're wanting to make a full imprint of both of them. Push the ground away, and then push it like you're trying to scoot your mat out in front of you. Use the strength of your arms and a sensation of spinning your inner upper arms out in front of you, like you're spitting those biceps out in front of you. Hug the shoulders towards each other, lift your sit bones high, bend your knees a bit, and you might even walk your feet a little bit wider than hip distance so that you can use this arm strength to encourage length in your torso, front, side, and back of your torso. Now bring yourself to a plank position, shoulders over wrists, and bring your knees down underneath you. So this doesn't look like we're trying to be on our hands and knees. This is a modified plank, and it still has plenty of bang for its buck. It will work into our core, but our focus today is really on getting our arm positioning and cultivating some arm strength. So not at the expense of collapsing our torso. They're all going to work in chorus, but push the ground away like we talked about in your downward facing dog, and keep that engaging in your shoulders, in your arms. We've got, like I said, our wrists are underneath our shoulders. And then, although you are in a plank with your knees down, there is a little temptation to go to hands and knees, so let's try not to let that happen. Shift a bit forward and bend your elbows so you go halfway down and your elbows brush against your ribs. And then straighten your arms out. Uh-oh, looks like a push-up to me. It is. It's a chaturanga push-up. So let's bend our elbows, brush our elbows against our ribs so they're not flopping out to the side, and then straighten your arms out. Remember, our core is intact. Try to love me anyway as we take that chaturanga push-up, and let's stay for 3. Keep your belly lifting 2, and then all the way down onto the ground. Uncurl your toes. Interlace your hands behind your back, or maybe hold a kitchen towel or a strap of some sort, and drag your knuckles back towards the back edge of your mat. Press into the tops of your feet, so you're activating your legs here. Imagine that you're trying to tuck your tailbone so this doesn't become a dump into your low back, nor is it overuse of our chin, our neck. We're working into retracted shoulder blades. That means our shoulder blades are sliding towards each other. And if you want to, you can lift your legs. Release it down. Make a pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead on your hands, and then just windshield wipe your legs back and forth for a second. Come back into that position of hands next to or interlace. Let's actually do the interlace and relace with the other pinky on the bottom. If you're using a strap or a towel, grab that. Press into the tops of your feet, go forward and up, drag those knuckles behind you. Be careful with that chin jutting forward. And now, instead of the interlace, unlace and let go of your strap and try to keep your hands together as if you're clapping hands. Those are your triceps, aren't they? I know. Let's see if we can stay here for 3. I'm not lifting my legs. I'm activating my legs. 2. Last one, place your hands right there next to your floating ribs, and instead of wobbly out to the side, ear-like elbows, aerodynamically next to our bodies. Remember the feeling of those triceps and activating our legs, and just traction the ground towards you, and we'll come up into a bit of a cobra here. And our cobra is still using all those muscles that we found earlier in our push-up, in our clapping hands behind our back. Lower down, we'll stay with this arm strength and core strength. Curl your toes under and come onto all fours in one chunk. Use that strength in your arms. And now lift your tailbone as if there's a hook in it, and make your way to down dog. And remember, we're pushing the ground away from us and we're pushing down into the ground, but we're lifting our hips up away from that. Walk your feet forward to your hands. We arrive hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up your shins. Inhale. Slide your hands down. We exhale. Now let's inhale, rise, reach. Thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and we'll pause with our arms along our sides, palms facing out. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, maybe shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, bend your knees as deeply as you need to situate your hands solid on the ground for down dog. Activate, pushing the ground away, pushing into the ground, lifting your hips away from that. Shift into a plank, shoulders over wrists, and then go back to down dog. Lift your sit bones way up and back. Activate those arms, pushing the ground away from you and into the ground. And then one more time, come into a plank, shoulders over wrists, and plant your knees down on your mat. Be sure that your belly is solid, so lift that belly in and bend your elbows, brushing against your ribs. Pause when we're in that halfway down, and then come to your belly. Uncurl your toes. Let it become a cobra pose. We're tractioning and feeling those triceps that we discovered. Lower down, curl your toes under. In one chunk, use the strength of your arms and your core to come to all fours. And then the hook in our tailbone takes us to down dog. We'll push the ground away, we'll push into the ground, and we walk forward, feet come to our hands. Slide your hands up, inhale. Slide your hands back down, exhale. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then we pause with our arms along our sides. Let's do that again really slowly. The slower we go, the more we know we're using muscles and not just a bunch of momentum. So let's take our time. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, maybe shins or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale. No rush, we bend our knees, our palms go flat, and we make down dog happen with plenty of integrity in our arms, our spine. Now shift it into plank, shoulders over wrists. You might linger here for a moment without your knees down, but you're welcome to put your knees down. We're here for 3, we're just holding it a bit longer. And 2. Plant your knees down if you haven't. We'll head to that chaturanga. If you need to go to your belly, that's fine. So all the way down, shoulders and elbows on the same line for a beat, and then all the way onto our belly. Uncurl your toes, use that traction and tricep action to come into your cobra. And then let's lower down. Curl our toes under in one chunk. The strength of our arms and our core brings us to all fours. And then we make our way to down dog. Our hips lift up and back. Lift your right leg back behind you. Step that right foot forward, and for a lot of us, it takes a little encouragement. Lower your left knee, your back knee, onto your mat, and now swing that shin parallel to the back edge of your mat. You're welcome to keep the left toes curled under, and climb your right forearm on top of your right thigh, left hand on your hip. Our body is open towards the left side of our mat, and instead of collapsing, let's bring some of that arm integrity into this pose. Take that left arm up to the sky, thumb to the sky, and we'll use a combination of karate chop of our right arm and reach of our left arm to open up our bodies here a little bit. Now, as we unwind, you'll spin this left foot back to face the short edge of our mat and curl those toes under. You might benefit from a book or a block underneath this left hand, and we'll twist open right arm up to the sky. Stay here or elevate your left knee, it's up to you, and pause. Let's reach our arms wide. I know we're working on strengthening them, but let's work on lengthening them too. 2 more moments. If you took that back knee off, place it gently back down again. Move your prop off to the side. Let's come to hands and knees. And once we're in hands and knees, let the hook in your tailbone take you to down dog. And then in our down dog, we lift our left leg behind us. We'll step that left foot forward, and like I said, you might help it along, and we'll lower our right knee, our back knee. Now just swing that shin parallel to the back edge of your mat. Go slowly, take care of yourself. Left forearm across your thigh, right hand on your hip, so we're leveraging and twisting gently over to the right. It's like a side angle pose, like we do in Warrior Two, except we're on our knee. And then float your right arm up, and let's find a karate chop in our left arm, spaciousness between our shoulders and our ears, and a reach with that right arm. 2 moments. Move slowly, be cautious of that right knee. We will swing our right foot to face the short edge, take our right hand potentially on our book or our block, and it's right hand down and left arm up. We're twisting now towards the left, towards our left leg. Stay here or opt to take that back knee off your mat. The choice is yours. 2 more moments. Lower that right knee, scoot your prop out of the way, slide your left knee to meet your right knee, find the hook in your tailbone and the integrity in our arms, and we come to down dog. From down dog, walk forward, feet to your hands, hip distance in parallel, slide your hands up your shins, inhale, slide your hands down as we exhale. And then we will inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V, and stand here in our mountain. We fashion a chair pose, feet are hip distance and parallel, V-shape your arms and sit back and down as if there were a chair back there. And then we'll exhale, hands to our thighs or shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, bend your knees so you can place those hands solid, and we come to down dog. Lift your right leg, and this time step your right foot forward. Help it along if it's necessary. You can trot your 2 blocks on either side of this right foot. And I like to walk my right foot to the right. Bend your left knee, upright your torso, V-shape your arms. You might work that back leg a little bit straighter, but things can get sticky and then compromise where our torso is, so nothing wrong with keeping a bend back there. Now, bring your hands to your mat and scoot your blocks or books out of the way. Step yourself from here into down dog, and from down dog, come into plank. And remember, we're going slow, don't you know? Let's linger, maybe with your knees down, 3 and 2. Place your knees down if they're not there already. We'll linger if you can, bending our elbows just barely brushing our ribs, shoulders and elbows on the same line for a beat. And then we lower onto our bellies and we traction into that tricep land and into our cobra. Lower down, curl your toes under, strengthen our arms and our core, take us to all fours, and the hook in our tailbone takes us back to down dog. Lift your left leg, swoop that left leg forward and help it along. Trot your 2 blocks or books on either side of that left foot. Walk your left foot to the left so it doesn't feel to be on a tightrope, and then bend your back knee. And we upright our torso and V-shape our arms. And if you like the idea of straightening your back leg, you can do that. Also, when you have a bend in that back knee, not only would your torso maybe more upright, but you might be able to kind of fire glutes, squeeze your glutes a little bit. That's a good thing. I know we're focused on arms, but glutes are good too. And then bring your hands to your blocks and move your blocks or books off your mat to find down dog. In our down dog, we then shift to plank. Remember your favorite part, we linger. You can always bring your knees down, take breaks. It's 3 here and 2. And then knees down, and we'll try to lower and pause for a beat with our shoulders and elbows on the same line. And then lower down on your belly, and it's a little bit different this time. Create a Sphinx pose, so forearms become parallel to the 2 long edges of your mat. Activate your legs the way that we did earlier and traction those elbows towards you. So first we'll feel a bit of a back bend. It's a very clear back bend, I think, here. And this is a place you might land, you might return to. I'll offer it up as we go. Now lower down a little and just inch your elbows, maybe 1 more inch towards your torso. Curl your toes under and oomph into your mat so that you come up into something that's not a collapse anymore. And we'll just peel our belly, our hips, and our thighs off of our mat. Now I really want to make sure there's no sunken shoulder blades, so push the ground away very actively. This is a plank on our forearms that is modified with our knees down. And then we'll lower back into that Sphinx pose and uncurl our toes. And remember that this is a pose that you can go to anytime you'd like. Curl your toes under, find the karate chop of both arms, and now just peel your belly, your hips, your thighs. Keep the karate chop, so no collapse in our shoulders. Most of us will stay here. A couple of us will try to lift our knees off our mat, and then return our knees down, and our thighs and our hips, and we'll come back into Sphinx. You having a good time with that? One more time, just like this. So curl your toes under, get the karate chop going, and then we'll peel belly, hips, thighs, possibly knees, but we're being honest about not collapsing into our shoulders. And then we'll bring our knees down, our thighs, our hips, our belly. And once again, let's interlace our hands behind our back. Drag that interlace, maybe it's a kitchen towel or a strap. Go forward and up with your chest, press into the tops of your feet, and then gently release and find a child's pose. And child's pose will be different for all of us. Some of us need to have less flexion, less bend in our knee, and we walk forward with our arms and maybe even use a block underneath our head. Some of us are going to sink hips towards heels. You'll hear that often as instruction, but if this doesn't work in your knees, make it your own. Let's get a little snuggly and take a respite before the next arm strength shenanigan I'm going to bring your way. 2 moments here. Now, come to hands and knees, and let me turn sideways so that this is just a little bit more clear. We've got our wrists underneath our shoulders, and we'll line up our right hand, right knee, and left foot. You can curl your right toes under or be on the top of that foot. You can also pad it. Push the ground away, and let's make some space between our shoulder and our ear. Left hand on your hip. This is enough. You might lift that left leg. You might lift that left arm, and then let's pause. Little core strength here too, but lots of integrity here, lots of strengthening in our right arm. 2 moments. Follow me here. Take your right hand on your mat. Try to keep your right leg lifted. Turn those toes, your left leg lifted. Turn those toes towards the ground. So left hand is on the ground, left leg is extended back behind you. And now you can actually believe me when I say right arm. Right arm reaches forward, thumb to the sky. And now we're feeling a bit of strength in the left arm, the load-bearing arm. Reach those right arm, left leg, lengthen away from each other. So reach them away from each other. 3 moments here. Then release it down. Come kneeling and just shake out your wrists. I know we've done a lot of things on our arms, certainly, and on our wrists. And we'll switch sides, so I'm turning myself around to make it clear. First, we set it up so that we are shoulders over wrists. And then we'll line up left hand, left knee, right foot down the middle of your mat. You can uncurl or curl the left toes underneath you, right hand on your hip. And you want to make sure you're not too far out in front of you or too close to you, so you are welcome to adjust that left hand. And now let's lift our right leg. And as we lift our right leg, we might lift our right arm. And then we stay put here for just a little while. See if we can find that strength. Figure out where we are balance-wise and in space. Maybe arms fatiguing a little. It's a bit cumulative, what we do. 2 more moments. Bring your right hand down. Try to keep your right leg lifting, but now all toes are facing the ground, so we're very tabletop-like. And your left arm reaches forward to shake hands with someone. Oomph into that right arm. Lengthen the arm and leg away from each other. 3 more moments. And then release it all down. Come kneeling so that we can shake out our wrists, press our backs of our hands together. And then we will come on to, let's come onto our hands and knees, and let me show this to you rather slowly. Take your right forearm parallel to the front edge of your mat. I know I'm not quite doing that. Well, I can. I just want to make sure you can see me. And then we'll walk ourselves back and come to the razor's edge of our right foot and the inside of our left foot. And you can come onto your left fingertips to support this. I don't want you to collapse. If you do, just come out of it, give it another try. Buoyantly lift your hips and think about taking that left arm up to the sky. 3 moments here, arm strength aplenty. Bring that left hand down, and then you can bend your knees and ease your way out of it, and we'll construct that on side 2. So our left forearm is parallel to the front edge of our mat, and essential to this is that there's not a collapse into our joints. And you'll do your best to come to the razor's edge of your left foot and the inside of your right foot that is scissored. And you can just keep your right hand down, that's plenty. Maybe right arm up. We've got to get a karate chop happening. We've talked a lot about karate chopping today. 3 moments here if you can. Return your right hand and then just let your knees come down to help you out of this little situation that you find yourself in. And then come to seated. And once we're seated, let's create a cross-legged position with our right shin in front of our left shin. And instead of crossing just at the ankles, walk those feet away from each other so there's a stretch into your hips. You might benefit from sitting on one of your books or blocks or a cushion from your couch. Scoot back, not forward, but back. Find a sweet spot. That's our story, we're sticking to it. And now take your arms out in front of you and take your right arm straight across your body. We'll make a little hook out of our left elbow and pull that across. And that's a nice stretch for these arms that have held us up in all sorts of shapes. 3 moments together here. Release that. Let's take side 2. So left arm reaches across your body. There's a hook that you make out of your right elbow to hold that straight arm, or it's as straight as you can. It may not be completely straight. And then, I don't know about you, but I am feeling a stretch in what we strengthened. Let's also stretch into a little bit of meditative silence. Release it, and we'll switch the cross of our legs. So left shin in front. Squiggle and wiggle until it's ankles underneath knees instead of just across at your ankles. And scoot your body back, maybe sit up on something. Like I said, that can be a pretty great idea. Take your right arm up to the sky and then pat yourself on the back with that right hand, and take your left hand and just gently encourage that as if you were encouraging your elbow behind your head, but it's not going to really go there. And the triceps that we worked on, we'll have a little song to sing to you here. It's not a scream, it's a sing. So let's make sure that there's a nice sweet song. And again, I'll be quiet. And ease your way into side 2. So now it's a left arm that's bent, a right arm that is encouraging. Remember, it's not a scream, but it's a stretch. And we'll stretch into our silence. And then gently release that and extend your legs out in front of you. You can be hip distance, you can bring your toes to touch. What I don't want is this sort of Dracula look to things. So think of a hip hinge. Doesn't have to go very far. I'm a big fan of using my blocks, and I like to use them tall because it reminds me to get some of that Sphinx action here. I'm pulling my blocks towards me. They're not moving, but it's the opposite of when we push the ground away from us in down dog. We'll take a second in this stretch. And then set your blocks or books off to the side. Bend your knees so it's a little easier to situate ourselves lying down. We'll shimmy our shoulder blades towards each other. These arms and shoulders worked strong today, and we want them to feel the arms of the earth comforting them. You can stay with bent knees or straighten one leg and then the other and let your feet flop open. You might be comfortable with your eyes closed. If you're not, just soften your gaze. And then let's take a minute and a half for our rest and digest Shavasana final meditation. Start to deepen your breath and maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Collect your knees into your chest and roll carefully, gently to either side. Use the strength of those incredibly strong arms of yours to bring yourself to seated. Maybe it's back to the cross-legged seat, possibly back onto one of your blocks or books. And then place your hands on your heart, grateful that we can work together this way. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I look forward to us doing this together again soon.